family. Aqui está.
Vai lá mais rápido.
I want to mention to you. So, the criminal that was in the second seat with the female, the first high seat to the left, the two females standing, the guy behind me. We were doing uploads the entire time as we were at the before the terminal. They released narcotics, heat sweat drugs specifically. They seemed like teenagers or preteens that were behind me in the middle. Were supposed to be a decoy, which makes all those other criminals with children, even if it's not that children, for change. As I said, the two ones standing in the first seat, they were the first ones to cough. Notice the other one hiding his face is also probably involved. I was doing uploads the entire time. All the files are online. Notice even a couple views on the silliest of them, and I think that might just have been me, but honestly, couldn't care less as far as it goes. I mean, for the evidence, as I pointed out to you, halfway evidence, and depending on them. What else? The two ones, they were there in front for sure. Check on my bag. It's fine. What else? Again, the only one with access to this bag was the criminal over there. Ouch! Ouch! So, I'm gonna release her. I could release her here. She doesn't know everything already here. But I will release her there. So, we're home. Well, here's the bikini. I don't want to mix this one with this. We're home, baby. Come on. Baby. We're home, Chip. Come out. Oh, Chip. It's the baby. You know the baby. Go talk to the baby. Yeah, Mama care, but not her mom. Not her mom. Okay. as a peculiarity, those are heat sweat drugs, although there's very little sweat, and they're anger drugs though, so they're not heat sweat drugs. They felt like heat sweat drugs, but the AC had been shut down at that point. The AC was turned on again, what was the end of the thing. And I don't. What you about to see? The entire thing was recorded in audio. You can listen to that if you want to. Assumptions are gonna temple that anyways. I am telling you what I witnessed. Those criminals verbally, essentially saying that they're involved in this. There was coughing from the two criminals I mentioned in front. The first ones from my seat, technically the last from the front. From the door, and my seat was the door. Well, the first ones to cough. The other ones, the ones in the front, were making, saying things. You notice the difference in volume. Yeah, so, amongst other things, which I'm not entering details here because I'm telling you this on my word, and as such, you get to see. Okay? As I said, how's the video title? Right? This video tells you what you need to know. As a matter of fact, if it's not there, that'll be kind of incoherent, right? Has no one else. Suppose that now she's the weakest one, so they prey on her more than on me. But you see them by chase, hoping their way back to the bus. But you see the ones that I mentioned specifically, the places that I mentioned specifically, because, as I said, they don't make anything accusation ever. I might be even correct at times because, being human and all, despite the best attempts. But that was it. So, not only drug criminals, but also criminals with children. And of all peculiarities, and I really don't know if I mentioned this because I want to report it. As I mentioned before, if I don't, then it doesn't matter at all. But the issue is, I don't care what the plan that was. After throwing those drugs, I felt, and quite importantly, I felt this smell inside the mall coming from me after they threw those drugs. And I'm not talking about sweat drugs. We know sweat drugs because they throw those ones on us, on me, just on me. Today is us, but before it was just on me. A lot. But where's Chip? Chip! I saw him moving. I thought she was going to see the other cat. As I said, I cannot believe the moment my cat did that to her. She was so afraid. Chip, it's me. Again, this is how afraid she is now. So, I'm gonna explain to you the other drugs that they threw. So, this is the same drugs they threw me on the mall, and I noticed this weird smell coming from me. I felt it was coming from my feet, and then I felt it inside the bus, coming from me, presumably. A first smell that I felt there was the smell of poop from my coat, because if you saw there in the video, she climbed on me and she walked to me, so my coat actually is smelling like her poop because of that crime. And after that, and this video is online and published now, right? After that, which essentially means that not only this and shit has access to this, including the dates of publishing, which is actually the key point. This is a direct accusation, no need to mention. So the same drugs that they threw there were causing anger, So the narcotics, the same narcotics that they use here, they use on those buses. In this bus, the first coughing, not real coughing, fake coughing, which implies consent because it's the way that the criminals bark to each other, came from that seat that I mentioned. And then there was the seat behind me, which was definitely a filler, presumably the filler for either the drugs or the filler for the smell that the drugs are causing to come from me. And you would have the, by the way, is involved. So as I said, confirmed criminal. Have the criminals in front acting up. As I said, they are anger drugs, so they're acting up to be little decoys. They are guaranteed involved in this as well. And as I said, this is not just a drug crime, it's a drug crime with children. As you saw the ones that they were supposed to be the other decoy. So that's what you get to see. Okay? What I can testify as a matter of fact is at that place in I mentioned, there was a massive release of narcotics and some type of drug that caused the smell to come from me, which proves to me that for those other times, it's the same drug being released in the air. Okay? The purpose of that likely for me to do exactly this, which is why I pointed to you that if I hadn't, it wouldn't be much. But then they also get away. Okay, so let's say that later at some further point you see some other criminal using this, as I mentioned before, that they would. That's the crime. We're gonna describe and point out this thing from this video to Tanya now in a phone call. Notoriously, which thing? Look at this. So I propose to you this one thing. This was facing downwards there. But it doesn't matter. This was facing downwards. So apparently the cats also flipped the thing upside down. Really mad from there. Not a single bit of food left on the ground. Not only did they flip everything upside down, they are very clean cats when they are eating. Not a single one, which is funny because when I give them food, they spills everywhere. As you saw, there's always something left over in the bag and something like that. So just pointing out again, as a matter of fact. It's okay though. You know, kind of cat doesn't put the food upside down and put it there differently. And again, purposes for that, well, probably for me to mention this to you. So the facts are, the bag was flipped up. This was underneath it. This was in the lower part, and there was no food spilled anywhere. So somehow when they chewed for this, and it was not chewed when I put that. When I put that, it was definitely closed. I saw it. So they apparently did that and flipped it. Okay? The best thing to be on this video then for the abuse to the cats, that they just magically pretend they are being accused. They are being not accused instead of being accused. So cool. Just smarter than everybody else. So no worries there. And that's what you got to know who they are by face.